I'm never gonna dance again.
No.
Got no rhythm.
Go
No, it's easy to pretend. I know you're not a fool.
3, 2, 1.
Should have
Hey.
known better than to treat a friend. Waste the chance that I've been given. Careless whisper, bro.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
This week on Humpcast, we're going to take it real easy like and have a nice chill chat with the boys. We got lots of beers and we talk about stuff. You're listening to Humpcast.
Hit it already.
Thank you. Welcome, everybody.
I feel like clapping.
Hello.
Welcome to Humpcast, the show where a couple of buds get buzzed and every week show you exactly how we get voted America's #1 podcast that you're listening to exactly right now.
Right now.
Right now.
Right
This
now.
second.
Hey.
At the moment.
My name is Garrett Lee.
I'm Ryan D.
And today, we have a very special returning guest here, Mr. Jeremy
Jeremy
Northwood. Yeah.
Because I didn't grow up hearing that.
Hey, but we gave you like a that made
I love it though
Made
because
it a
I
podcast,
get I get the Avengers.
yeah, you do.
I'm going to turn this down so we're less crackly.
Sounds better.
Nice.
Yeah.
Perfecto. Yeah. That's just me. Fuck it. Today we're having a nice little chill episode. There's not a whole bunch of news that I found very compelling, and someone even though he just got Disney Plus, refuses to watch The Mandalorian.
Who's that?
The guy to my left, who decided to buy not Netflix, Disney Plus to watch The Muppets.
What a fucking weirdo.
Right?
The horror.
That was your main goal?
Yeah. Well, The Simpsons and The Muppets. That's what I watched.
Okay.
Yeah.
How was that Michael Jackson
Are
episode?
you sure? I feel like I'm only getting picked up in your mic over there.
You're all the way up here.
Am I? Hello. See, that's a
Hello.
little bit better. That's better. There you go. What? What were we talking about?
How was the Michael Jackson episode?
Yeah, that's really unfortunate. It's not there. Well, I have those. I have those DVDs.
Do you have all the seasons on DVD or Blu-ray
You know
or
what?
something?
I lost those in the divorce.
Oh. Anyone interested in Motley Crue reunion tour?
Oh yeah.
Are you
The one they
interested?
said they'd never do.
We already got
they
the
signed
chat
a
going
contract.
on.
So yeah, I just saw this. It was like it's gonna be there's already so Motley Crue just had a farewell tour, which was terrible.
Farewell until we meet again next month.
Just had a farewell tour. I know, dude, but this is like their third farewell tour too.
Okay.
And now they're gonna announce a reunion tour
Yeah.
with Poison and like
Poison.
fucking and like
Every
Guns N'
time I hear
Roses.
that, that's all I think is
That girl
Belle
is
Biv DeVoe.
poison. Yeah, but they're going on tour with Belle Biv DeVoe.
Love it.
Wait, what's like a famous Poison song?
Poison.
I've definitely heard.
Don't need nothing but a good time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm so far removed from that. It's so weird how my tastes have evolved. I just noticed this the other day. A 21-year-old asked me what kind of music I was into, and then I went through my catalog in my head of what I was listening to right now versus what I've listened to since I was let's say 12. And it's always changing. Even though I still can go back and listen to some of the stuff that I listened to when I was younger.
So what
It's
is
always different. Right now, I told him, I was like, it just depends on my mood. Right now, I'm very much trying to avoid sad music. And I've just, and I've been listening.
You're like, because I'm a mental wreck
I'm
right
a
now?
mental, well, I don't know. I'm in this weird, this middle ground area where everything's just I'll take it as it comes.
Yeah.
But I have been listening to a lot of EDM and reggaeton and trap and shit that just doesn't really elicit much emotion, but will keep you moving if you're trying to do work or something.
It's a trap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if I then sometimes Billie Eilish will be on there or some other sad
like
shit.
Billie
that'll go on.
Eilish.
I love Billie Eilish, and she just came out with a brand new song too, and I really like it. I think it's called Everything I Wanted or Everything I Enjoyed, like something like that. Have you heard
You're
it?
everything I wanted.
Yeah.
I have no idea what you guys are talking about. I've heard of her, but I just never listened to her really. Or if I have, I didn't know I was listening to her. So.
I actually didn't know what you were singing until like 2 seconds in, and then I caught on.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, it is
an
actually.
NSYNC song,
It's
right?
called. Is that or Backstreet Boys?
it's one or the other. One of those ones I wasn't allowed to say I liked when I was younger.
It sounds like Backstreet Boys.
I had a few of those.
Yeah, I think that was Backstreet Boys. You're right.
So Billie Eilish, Everything I Wanted dropped November 13th, and I was like, this is
Dropped. Look at you with the lingo.
so
Damn.
fucking soothing. Like, I'm gonna try not to get. It doesn't matter if we get. Well, pulled is one thing, but we get like flagged on our YouTube channel. But I don't care. It's not like we're trying to monetize anything on that anyway right now.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, but it's so soothing, and I actually have tickets to go see her in April with some friends,
All right.
and so I'm
Nice.
pretty excited about this.
Wait,
'cause
you're gonna get? Where's she playing it?
It is somewhere in California. I don't remember exactly.
This girl's like fucking 17 or something, right?
Yeah, she's like-
holy
Yeah.
shit, she's got some fucking. That's
Yeah.
her goddamn
I think
voice.
she blew up when she was 16 or
Yeah,
something.
it's pretty nuts.
Like whenever
Oh,
Doesn't it feel weird as a 30-year-old that you're that you love a fucking 17-year-old?
art is art, bro. Do you like Subway? Then you like art.
Shut up.
But yeah.
Even noticed I saw them standing right there.
But yeah, now I just like I've lost all. It's just like you said with the Backstreet Boys are NSYNC. It's like, oh, it's one of those bands that I wasn't allowed to like,
Yeah. No.
and I'm like,
somehow if you're a guy, you're not allowed to like Madonna or something like that.
Yeah,
too.
yeah, dude. Like, and I
Bro,
remember
Madonna kicks ass. By the way.
growing up.
seriously got some good songs.
Yeah,
so.
growing up, I feel like I had a lot of that against me because I guess growing up with predominantly females that don't listen
Turn the
to
music down.
They don't listen to they listen to like pop female shit, usually. And like that's the stuff that I would hear.
Can hear that.
Oh,
That's
I
what's
was wondering what that
bugging me.
was. Yeah. And that's the
Oh,
stuff
sorry
that I
about
would
that.
hear as a kid. So it's like when I was like 9, 10, 11, I was listening to Britney Spears and like Beyonce. And
Yeah.
I didn't like Mariah Carey, but I'd heard it.
And then everyone called you a faggot.
Yeah. Like, thanks, guys.
I thought you were my
Thanks.
friend.
Thanks, dude. And then like
so funny
we
'cause,
talked
like-
about this too, where my dad really didn't share his music that much.
Yeah.
And now it's like I do like all this other stuff too. I like Metallica. I like a lot of metal artists. I like the genres that I was mentioning earlier, where you get into like trap and the EDM stuff too. And I like the 17-year-old Billie Eilish. Like it just they make good music that I like to hear.
I
It's
get
soothing to my ears.
I
like
get it, man. I'm the same. I mean, like, I'm a little more anti, like, real pop stuff that you're into, though. Like, there's some, I don't know, there's some garbage.
What's something that you can remember me liking that you don't like?
I don't know. Like, you put on, when you used to put on, like, Selena Gomez and shit, I'm just like, I can't stand this shit. What
Oh,
is
yeah.
this fucking-
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Fair enough. There's definitely a lot of the poppy stuff that I did listen to that I don't like don't want to hear anymore. But it is like somewhat nostalgic.
I really don't like reggaeton at all either. Like,
Really?
Yeah. I can't
Nothing
stand
at all?
it. I can't stand it.
Why don't you like it? Like I treat it as if it's just like something that I understand some of the words, but it doesn't elicit a lot of stuff. But it sounds good to me. It
It's
sounds
just-
dancey,
They all have the same beat. So, like
reggae.
right. And yeah, exactly. And I don't like reggae either for the same instance.
Me either, and it's funny because
if I hear something too repetitive in the background too much, it makes me want to kill myself.
You start noticing
You start
it
noticing.
a lot. It's the only thing you can hear all the time. Yeah.
It's like, does this ever change? Somebody
Yeah.
turn it off. It's like a metronome to fucking get you into some sort of trance, right?
Uh-huh.
Like, I don't like it.
Yeah. No, I find that it's so interesting. Like, because I went.
That's a
with,
very good point.
Yeah.
I went with my friend to a concert. I don't know if anyone out there has heard of Iration or Pepper. I actually did kind of like
Pepper, yeah, I'm not a big fan.
kind of like Pepper. a little
Pepper's
bit
like
more.
that, like the Sublime sounding band.
Yeah.
kinda.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the first I
Why
actually got
won't
to
you
see
have
them
some dirty hot
a
sex with me?
long ass time ago. They were opening for Joan Jett and the Blackhearts in Honolulu.
They're not bad though.
And I mean, it wasn't bad.
I love
but
Joan
it,
Jett, too.
It
Fuck.
sounded. Dude, I used to have such a fucking crush on her. Holy
Yeah,
shit!
come on.
When I was a
She's
kid,
fucking
damn.
I still have a crush on her.
Yeah, I know, right? Fuck. Her and Pat Benatar.
Ah,
Yeah. Yeah, strong damn females. See,
Yeah.
look, come on, they were awesome back then. 80s, fucking killing it.
Yeah, dude.
But it was an awesome show, and they weren't bad. But I'm just not a big fan because they sounded way too much like Sublime for me, and
Yeah.
but a little more polished.
Mm-hmm.
So it just didn't have that original sound for me at
Sure.
the time. So.
Sure. Yeah, I don't know, man. It takes I'm real picky with what I listen to, I guess, but less now than I when I was, because now I really don't give a fuck if people don't like what I like. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
before, it was like, in high school you actually kind of had to like pretend like, oh yeah, but it's like whatever, but you're like, but you really do like something, just because you don't want to be judged by everybody else.
Too.
Yeah, movies.
And it's kind of interesting, to be honest, because I talk to so many people and they mention a lot of artists that I've never heard of, and so that kind of has become sort of what we're known for as our specific generation. Is like, before our generation, most people kind of heard of the same shit. Like their stuff was all like we all heard. Now we were in literally the age of the birth of the internet, and so there
was so much shit. There was, and we
the
thought,
internet's helped birth a lot of shit too. Like, holy shit, I didn't know what the fuck K-pop was 15 years ago.
That's true.
It's been around for a shitload long time, but I didn't know until a long time ago. Like, fuck.
Yeah.
And this shit's actually pretty fucking catchy, so.
I remember me and a few other friends thought we were so fucking ahead of the curve with because I would always, one of my favorite things was finding a band from Europe that no one had fucking heard about yet, and then they would tour the States and be like, I'm like, I got $10 tickets for this obscure band that no one fucking knows about,
That's the way I was with punk rock.
Yeah. Right.
That's funny. One of the people in the comments said, it's like, I listened to a band called Lifehouse. I also listened to a band called Telescopes. Telescopes being one of the guests that we've had on the show. I would imagine that's who she's referencing.
Lifehouse, that sounds
also
very
bring
familiar.
it back to what was the Lifehouse one? I'm falling even more in
Oh my god,
love
you're
with
right.
you.
That was the fucking
That one.
Yeah. Okay, weird.
Yeah, I remember being I want to say 14, 15 or whatever, and playing that on loop on a speaker when because I saw a cute girl and she told me she liked Lifehouse or whatever.
Yeah.
And I just played it, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna get into this.
Were you?
And
Did
It's
it
not
work?
bad.
Did you get into it?
Some of that stuff isn't so bad, I was gonna, what was funny was I was gonna ironically put Creed on one of my Instagram stories.
Ironic.
And then I realized this might be interpreted as me actually really liking Creed. Well, which then fell into me listening to Creed.
Yeah.
And then being like, they're not that bad of a band.
That's what I think people give shit to people way too much. There's times and moments where things just feel right. And sometimes you're like, fuck it, I want to hear Creed.
Yeah.
There are songs that I actually enjoy. If you play them, I'll enjoy that. I can sing along with them.
I had that song. I had that song in my head. It was
Higher.
Should have been dead on a Sunday morning. I think it was I forgot. It's something about the trial or something like that. It's like court is in session. The verdict is in. That's how it starts.
I don't think I've ever heard that.
Yeah, it's a good one. It's a good Creed song.
I was like,
I should have been dead on a Sunday morning.
I'm pretty sure.
People make it's funny. Creed ended up filling the same spot with people being able to make fun of the way he sings the same way.
Pearl Jam?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Except
just 10 years later. Shit,
well, and then Hootie and the Blowfish sounded the same.
Oh
too.
yeah. Holy shit.
Like I only know the more popular poppy songs from Creed, but I have to hand it to them. Like, it was catchy. It gets stuck in your head.
Oh yeah, and they had hits,
Yeah, and that's so it's fucking
I
worth
know,
it. Okay, same with Nickelback. I'll give them that.
I have fucking break this. I have the first 3 Stained albums on my phone too, and I got made fun of the other day for that one.
Why?
But I was like, I like Stained, dude. I always kind of did, so I don't really care.
Right now I feel like falling into the.
It's just this, I think. And
Why are you digging us a hole? Look at this hole we're falling into.
90s pop rock and alt rock. That was my jam. Kind of still is.
Can somebody throw me a rope? I feel like I'm stuck in a well.
Can you?
Look at his hair move.
You
It's
feel the
beautiful.
power of
It's
God
like- and
when
you know
listen
what?
to Creed.
I do feel the wind in my hair just looking at them up on that
Look at him.
mountaintop.
He was actually
It's
pretty
a
handsome.
storm in a weird
90s
sort
way.
of a
He was a pretty
there you
handsome
go.
guy, and like
I
now
mean-
now he's all methed out, like missing teeth and shit.
Yeah.
Wait, really?
Yeah,
No shit.
yeah. Hanging out in
Oh,
hotel
man.
rooms, he's all like schizophrenic now and shit. Like
No
yeah,
shit.
yeah.
I want to see some fucking pictures of that guy now. Holy crap.
Well, I think he's on some kind of better path, but like for like a couple years ago.
Is he
there
like Aaron Carter looking bad or
Wait. Someone said that the singer of Creed made a porn.
what?
was,
Is that
oh
a
wait
thing?
a minute.
Oh, man.
What's his name?
Scott Stapp.
Oh, I was
Scott
gonna.
Stapp.
Oh, Stape. STAAP.
STAAPB or something like that. I don't know.
Is there an E at
Stapp?
the end of it?
think
Oh
it's
no, that's
Stapp.
Stapp?
that,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
it.
You saying Pam or Pam?
I don't know why I thought it was
What's
PP.
that? Scott.
E.
PP.
He made a porno?
Porn?
Pornog. Oh, Jesus. Spank Bang.
That's not that one. We'll check out here.
Sure, you don't want to be incognito for this?
Why?
Well, it's a porno with him.
No one, it's his computer. No one else goes on this.
This is true. Yeah.
Cares.
Bro, do you want me to open my porn folder and show you?
Jesus, I know. I'm
that's cool.
I'm sure there's
The-
worse.
the
There are worse
search
things.
Ever
that we got here.
increasingly
Yeah.
sad and pathetic.
I wouldn't say that.
Well, look, but
I
like
can't find
it's funny.
anything.
I don't think he made a porn, but look at
Maybe just
go
somebody
back,
who looked like him or something.
Hit back. Look at one of the articles. What does it say? Broke. Like it says he's broke, homeless. Yeah, look at that. Watch. Bring up that video.
Clicking.
Maybe it would show, say something about him doing pornography.
Scott Stapp, the singer of alternative rock band Creed, posted a video on Facebook this week informing fans that he is completely penisless. Penniless and homeless, and accusing his record label and others of stealing money from him. Right now, I'm living there's a pop-up. Right now, I'm living in a Holiday Inn by the grace of God, Stapp says, claiming he was previously living in his truck. I had no money, not even for gas or food. I went 2 days without eating because I had no money and ended up in an emergency room. This has nothing to do with porno. This is a long article that I don't feel like...
Yeah, that's
Anyway,
too much.
I saw the video. It's pretty
Okay,
sad.
Wow.
Yeah.
Shit.
But like he's also missing teeth, and then he's saying that, and then he says something about the government listening in on him and stuff like that, and it's like, all right, buddy.
So drugs.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And or previously undiagnosed mental
Right.
illness.
And
Okay.
yeah, probably both.
I'm gonna... For this
one
episode, I'm gonna...
cause the other.
I'm gonna crawl down the rabbit hole of 90s pop
Do it.
rock shit.
Have you seen that-
Next up, we have Limp Bizkit and one of my favorite covers ever.
This is a great cover.
I
by the
love
way.
this cover
Yeah.
for in all honesty.
Yeah.
But like I remember having my iPod and like listening to this. Like, this is fucking good. And then I realized
As far as these kind of covers go, this one and the Pearl Jam "Love Rain Over Me" cover,
Yeah.
it's fucking phenomenal.
Yeah.
Let it rain over me. No, that not Enrique Iglesias.
No.
Or whoever that was. Mid porn.
Wow, Limp
Play
Bizkit's
for
doing a good
Us.
job on this.
This is good.
I've
You ever heard this one?
I don't think I've
It's
ever
really
heard
good.
this version.
It's
You've never
a good
heard
cover.
No.
Yeah.
No, that's surprising the shit out of me because I don't really like Limp Bizkit at all. Like, at all.
There are definitely a few good like
They got a
poppy
few
songs.
good
Yeah, but
Keep rolling.
yeah, but I mean
No one
that's
likes
not
that one.
necessarily saying liking.
I actually liked. I guess like what are these called? Ballady stuff.
Yeah.
Oh,
like
yeah.
Eat You Alive.
Yeah.
I like that one a lot.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's
Yeah.
I think it's off the same album. Maybe.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It just
See,
it
I'm
is that
not familiar
it has that
enough.
little bit of emotion in there. You know, it's kind of fun.
Yeah, and,
break your fucking face. Or whatever the fuck
Well,
it
see,
was.
that's some fun shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
Dude.
break stuff's always a good song.
Break-
That's always a
yeah.
fun one.
I actually don't really care about the Nookie.
DMX has a fucking Christmas album. Apparently, it is fucking
Yes.
funny.
Yeah, we talked about it. We've talked about it on the show years
I've
ago.
I've never heard it before.
I brought it in because I
I've
thought it was
never
so
heard it
hilarious. Yeah,
before.
we
Holy
played. Yeah,
shit.
It was Mark
Yeah.
Anthony that did Let It Rain Over Me. Or whatever the fuck it's
Mark
called.
Anthony. Oh, okay. I was, but that's not what I was.
fire.
We're talking about the fucking The Who song,
Who?
Love Reign Over Me.
The Who?
Good job. Good
Thank
one.
you so
Thanks,
much.
Thanks for doing a fucking.
I never remember Mark
50-year-old.
Anthony for fucking for his music. Wait, did he do a song with Santana? He probably did. Everybody's done a
Mark
song
Anthony,
with Santana.
yes, yeah.
But specifically, I only remember him for movies he's done. Man on Fire, and then El Cantante. I love that movie. Him and Selma Hayek.
Never seen that.
Or
One.
wait, was it Selma Hayek? Shit, somebody's got to.
I thought Selma. No, it's not. It's,
No, it's Jennifer Lopez. No, who the hell is
Julie?
that?
What?
His who plays his wife in El Cantante.
I'm gonna Google it right now.
Google it right now.
Hell.
While you Google that, I
Such
will
a
let
good
everyone
movie.
know that we do start off every episode with an alcoholic beverage of some sort.
How did we
Today
skip this?
Is no different. I don't know. We kind of just rolled into something else. We
You said it was an
rolling. We're actually doing a smattering of different beers today. The first we were starting off with
It is Jennifer Lopez.
Okay.
with the Elysian Space Dust IPA, which I haven't had in years, to be honest. It's actually just nice and refreshing. Pretty cool.
Yeah, very good
Good
one.
hop presence. I think they recently had added more hops to it.
Hey, do you guys want to hear my the first set I ever did?
Yes.
Waka waka, ah, waka waka waka. Here I am, Funny Bear, to tell you jokes for old and rare.
All right.
Here's a hot take. I actually don't really care for the Muppets.
Oh my god, dude.
Fozzie was my first
Are
favorite
we really
comedian.
gonna get into this right now? Because the fucking
Him, George Carlin,
I will
and
fight
Cheech
you.
and Chong.
Dude, I will
my
fight
favorite
any,
comedians.
I will fight anybody over the Muppets, bro. The Muppets are so brilliant,
Muppets
and
are
the
awesome.
Muppet movie is so good because I mean, fucking even Mel Brooks worked on it, and you had fucking they had so many comic cameos, fucking Richard Pryor.
Oh yeah. No
I mean Mel Brooks,
shit.
and then what's his name, Steve.
Buscemi? Martin.
Steve Martin. Steve Martin, yeah.
I
Steve
was
Martin's
a
in
little
it?
surprised
I was
that
like, the
you.
first one was a joke. The second one I actually got.
Yeah.
I was
No,
a little
okay.
surprised that you forgot his.
I don't know why.
I
I was never really a big fan of Steve Martin, but like,
oh, okay.
I think just kind of like what I was talking about earlier with the music is like certain things have places in my mind depending on where I'm at. And so I enjoyed the Muppets when I was younger, but rewatching them, I'm like, I don't care about this anymore. And I don't hold on to nostalgia
when's the last
that
time?
much.
When's the last time you watched a Muppet movie? The Muppet movie.
Oh, I was going to say a Muppet movie
No,
or
the Muppet movie.
I don't remember the last time I watched
That
the
is
Muppet movie.
not a kids show, a kids movie. Trust me, it's really not.
It's been a long time. Yeah.
I mean, it's like it's so sharp and so well written. Like, and like, that's why I had a greater appreciation of this movie now as a comedy writer than I ever have. Because the callbacks in that movie and and there's so many like ongoing jokes throughout the rest of the movie that like just that crack me up. You know, it's like callbacks throughout the whole fucking thing. You know, it's
Just like if you were watching stand up.
yeah.
I love.
I love a good callback.
I love that.
Yeah, that's a myth.
Wait, is that what
Yes.
it is though?
What?
That's what it's called, right?
what it-
When you start off, your
When you do
set
a joke-
doing one thing, and then you finish with that
Right, and then
joke
and then
at
you
the
bring
end.
it back. You
Okay.
bring it back into
Okay.
yeah. So what you were talking about.
I'm
somehow,
I'm
yeah.
not totally familiar with the vernacular, so
Yeah, a callback. It's like let's say at the beginning of a movie or at the beginning of your set, you like make a joke, and then
God, I'm stupid. I didn't even think because I get what a callback is in a movie.
right. So it's the same.
Same
thing.
fucking. Oh
It's
God.
the same. I have also switched it up because I found this in not a new one, but like a place that I haven't been to, a liquor store that had a shit ton of beers. It is kind of old, I agree, but it's not like an IPA or anything. So I don't think it really matters that much. This is The Beast. It's a Grand Cru Oak Aged Ale by Avery Brewing Company. I do enjoy a lot of the beers that I've had from Avery. I also know that they are the ones behind Avery's Rumpkin beer, which is their like 16 or 18% alcohol rum barrel aged like pumpkin stout or some shit like that. And that fucked me up last time. This is their 16.8% alcohol by volume. Beast. And you said you've had this before.
Yeah, at 16.8%.
Yeah. With this same size beer, and he said it erased his memory.
Yeah, it was.
Who did this?
It's this. Wow.
This guy.
Yeah,
Wait, so you're gonna drink that right now? So you're not.
My-
so this
yeah.
is
No,
good.
I'm sharing this.
This is good night.
my brother and I.
I'm trying to, because I only got one bottle. They had a build your own 6-pack thing, and I found this. I was like, I don't think I can commit to a 6-pack of this before I try it.
Let me put it this way: my twin and I, we did 1 12-ounce
And then
bottle,
he didn't even have any remember.
at about 6 ounces each, and that finished our night. Now we'd been drinking previously for a while, but I'm telling you, this thing, it's a finisher.
Yeah.
Unless you're doing what you're doing right now, which is
I'm
just
sipping
starting
and
with it.
sipping.
And
Yeah, that's the thing. I wanted to start off with it. I'm not planning on going crazy, but we will get into the beer that you brought later. But I wanted you guys to try it as well. I really enjoy this so far.
it's really good, isn't it? Mm-hmm. This one.
Try this shit.
The one thing that I found about this particular beer, the Beast Grand Cru. Now the one that I had,
Oh God, no! Fuck that.
the one that I had was not barrel aged, oak
that
aged
tastes
at
like
all.
shit.
But it was super fruity, like fruitcake.
This is
fruity
very
and stuff.
fruity. You get a lot of this sweet, like date kind of taste.
I don't like that.
Ooh,
You don't like it?
okay, yeah, I'm smelling like dry fruit kind of dates.
Yeah.
Wow, I'm gonna get flowery here.
Cool.
Maybe I just
There ain't
wasn't,
nothing wrong with that. Thank you.
I wasn't prepared for that after this IPA.
Oh wow, that's really good.
Right?
Yeah.
Hey, wait. So how many episodes?
I
in
mean,
it?
it's boozy as shit, but it's good.
Sure. Yeah. So you guys are welcome to. You're probably not going to drink anymore,
fuck
right?
that.
You're welcome to sip on this with me too.
Thank you.
How many episodes? What now? And the what fuck?
How many episodes of The Mandalorian are there?
Currently, there are
The
2.
Metachlorians.
Okay. So, for those of you who, well, I don't know, a majority of the fucking world, I think so.
What?
Disney Plus just launched this past week, and with it, 2 episodes as of now. So they launched with the first episode of the Mandalorian
Oh, so
series.
the second episode. So why are you getting off? So get off my
can
fucking
you shut
back,
the fuck
dude.
up so I can talk?
There's only 2
I am
episodes.
talking. Yeah, but it's still amazing because I enjoyed the first episode. I was like, okay, that's cool. I wanted to see more. Then the second episode dropped, and like, I really enjoy this. And then I'm waiting.
Okay.
Because they're instead of doing the old and tried and true method of binge watching, just dropping a series, having
what I wanna
everyone
do right
talk about it for 2-3 months maybe, and then having it kind of disappear until the next thing. They are releasing an episode every Friday. Although the first week we got 2 episodes because the launch day was Tuesday, and then the Friday right immediately after they gave us another one, and then this Friday we'll get another one.
How long are the episodes? Hour?
40-ish minutes.
Oh, okay.
So an hour with commercials.
Okay.
If they-
Yeah, that's what I was
There's no
just thinking.
commercials.
Yeah.
But you know what they're starting to do now is they're starting to take some of the streaming. They're licensing them out to fucking TV shows or to like the TV. That's why they've always had them like under an hour so that they could actually use them to
shit.
to syndicate them on fucking regular TV.
And that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like where everything
Lord,
on
they could do
TV
that
was
with
like
it.
half an hour or an hour, streaming stuff is kind of odd numbers so that you can put
yeah,
commercials in there for when you put them on
exactly.
broadcast.
Like the Runaways from Netflix.
I've never watched it. Have you?
Is no, but now it's like on like some off channel on Dish that I have. I don't know.
The Runaways. What's that?
It is a Marvel. I think Marvel property.
Yeah.
Okay.
Basically mutants, like Teen Mutants.
Yeah, but it's like a teenish show.
Okay, I think I kind of, that sort of makes me think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it was
but
on
there's
Netflix.
been goddamn, dude. Marvel's done a couple of different shows there. Holy crap! What was that fucking one that was X-Men, but without the X-Men? The X-Men were just like a legend or something.
Yeah,
Shit, it was on FXX or FX or something like that.
XXX.
Damn it. Well, I can't remember what the hell it was, but not the Runaways, but something else. Anyway, there was one of those other Marvel properties.
So yeah, so they have that going on right now. I am just finding more and more stuff that I like to watch. And
Okay,
then
so-
I love that the other day I didn't have much time, but I just felt like I wanted to watch something real quick. I realized that you could just literally go to anything that you want. And I mean, not that this is a new thing, but I love that these are the properties. So Endgame. I love specific parts of Endgame. I was like, I got some time. I started.
the end?
Yeah, no, I started at the battle. So
Yeah.
right when they get out and the three Thor, Iron Man, they walk up to Thanos.
I could watch that.
Just that.
I could watch that part
yeah.
like
Yeah.
every day, dude.
And you can.
Yeah.
You literally can.
Well, I had it. I had a digital version of it.
Yeah,
on my-
exactly.
on
Have you
my-
just
I had it on my
watched it on
Xbox. I would.
slow-mo?
I would just watch it.
Fucking
Yeah, dude.
Awesome.
And
for sure.
It's still just
So
so
awesome.
fun. Like I just love watching it, and I love that. Like I think the other day too, I did it with. I heard the Star Wars, A New Hope. They changed the Han shooting thing.
They did.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they made it faster.
No, so here's what happened. So this is weird. In the
Aye, fuck.
in the original cut, the original theatrical cut, I believe Han Solo was the only one
Only
that
one
shot.
shot.
Yeah.
Then they changed it where Han shoots first and Greedo shoots second. Then they changed it where Greedo shoots first, I think.
Yeah, Yeah, so I think there's a copy I have where like Han dodges the blast and it goes like by his head and then he shoots Greedo.
And then this one, for whatever reason that no one
I
no
prefer
one
the
has been able
original.
to give us a straight answer as to why they did it. They added one line that Greedo says right before it happens, and it's McClunky.
Okay.
The entire thing plays out how the last version of it was.
It's supposed to be Huttese, but I don't know what the hell it's supposed to say.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Like,
And why would a Rhodian be speeding Huttese to a human?
Because they both deal with the Hutts.
Or maybe that's the only. Okay, yeah. If you were speaking in a language that only two of you knew.
Yeah, so it's like
yeah, that makes sense.
it's like if I speak Chinese and you speak like Spanish, but we both speak English, we speak English.
Yeah. Okay.
So
All right. I still prefer Han shooting first because he was a pirate, a rogue, and a smuggler.
Yeah, I have no
and
problem
then
with that.
And then
And it doesn't
he
make it-
became a likable good guy because hey, you know what? The princess reformed it.
Also, at the same time, it doesn't fucking matter. Like
Exactly.
it really
It
does.
really doesn't.
Like his
Besides, he
character.
did the
his
right thing in
Character
the
is
end.
his character. Yeah, his character is his character, and so what. You can still do things that aren't necessarily morally 100% good or 100% bad. Still be that actually makes you a better character, in my opinion.
He
Shades
grew.
of gray, but strong choices work. And so, like, I like that the first one where he's the only one that shot. He saw that he had the only this was the thing that he had to do, so he did it. I'm like, that's fine.
He was
doesn't
the
change any
original
of the rest
space
of the course.
cowboy, the original gangster of love,
Yeah, he was.
the original Maurice.
But yes. Now we are all waiting for someone to tell us what the fuck McClunky means.
Yeah.
I
Because the
actually
entire
read
time-
what McClunky means, but I just can't remember.
Because the
I
entire
just know that's
time,
supposed to be Huttese or some
There's
shit.
subtitles, but for
But
whatever,
clunky.
but it's not. It's
Maybe
not
maybe
subtitled.
it's just somebody going, the scene is really clunky. So,
But it's my scene.
Oh, McClunky
It's
lines.
McClunky.
Yeah, McClunky. Yeah.
They were Filipino and they were using Tagalog. Maklak.
McClunky. McClunky.
Yeah. Anyway, I haven't watched
Yeah,
Metachlorians or
so
whatever.
are you waiting? Are you waiting until it's done?
I don't
or
know
until
why
there's
that's funny.
A minimum,
That's
like
funny.
when are you waiting to?
I'll probably wait for the next episode so I can at least watch 3.
3.
Yeah.
Why though? Just you can
Why not?
can just start and then keep going and
Just
then
so I can
have
watch
a
3.
good. Okay.
It's why you can't say no to that fourth or fifth beer. Sure, you bought the 6-pack to last you 2 days, but you knew it wasn't when you.
Why does everyone
there
get?
you
Why,
go.
I don't get it. Like, fuck. You know
Well,
what?
I think in this day and age, it gives you something to talk about, like with the rest of the people, and it's definitely taken over my feeds.
But most people
especially,
are on
I
their
mean, have you-
Twitter, not standing around the water cooler. So
This is kind of the water cooler. Like the internet's the water cooler. Have you seen
terrible
images
water
and
cooler.
like
It's not
stuff
even
from
that
the
refreshing.
show? Because I
I
imagine
saw
you
the
couldn't
baby
avoid
Yoda.
Yeah, and that's the cutest fucking thing I've seen in my life.
Yeah, but I mean, whatever. Like, I don't like why.
You're saying you love the Muppets. It's the cutest fucking Muppet.
No, it's not.
It's a Muppet.
First of all, not a Muppet. By the way, okay, so
It's a Muppet.
You know what? I was just thinking about this shit today. Fuck anyone who says that Sesame Street Muppets are not Muppets. They are part of the Jim Henson
course they
Company.
are.
They're Muppets, right?
So-
That'd
but-
be like trying to say that any of the puppets in the Labyrinth or
Are
in
not
Dark Crystal
Muppets, right?
are not Muppets.
Those are Muppets from the Jim Henson Company,
Yeah,
right?
So-
they don't have to be.
Oh, they don't have to be a part of the Muppet
Yeah.
Show.
Didn't Jim
I
Henson
mean, come
make...
on, Muppet Babies were animated. They weren't actual Muppets either. If
Okay.
that's the case.
So I have a friend. I'm calling him out right now.
Call him.
We got
Uh-oh.
into like a heated argument about this. He has like Miss Piggy tattooed on his arm or something, and she has.
The Fraggles were Muppets, as far as I'm
Yes.
concerned.
Yes.
The Doozers
So
were
those
Muppets.
are called. So Jim Henson's puppets
Are
are
Muppets.
Muppets, right?
Yeah.
Did
That-
Jim,
okay.
At least as far as-
I believe this is a fact. Did Jim Henson make Yoda and all those?
No,
Yeah.
no, I believe that
Or did
was.
he-
Uh,
I thought he had a hand in it at least.
I know they used.
Get it because it's a puppet with your hand.
I believe they. I believe.
had a hand in
I
it.
believe they hired the Jim Henson Company to work the puppet,
But not create
but
them.
not create them.
I
Yeah.
want to look this up because if that's a fact, then
that was pretty funny. I
I guess-
have to give you credit where
Where-
credit
where
was
I go?
due.
I don't know.
Yeah.
That's a good question. I never thought about this.
I thought because
Yeah, that is a really.
I
good
remember
question, 'cause
having.
I just know that he built industrial light and magic because he had to. They didn't. There was nobody existed that could make those effects or anything like that. There was no such thing as effects houses back then.
That's a makeup artist.
Frank Oz,
Ooh, he suggested that George Lucas use Frank Oz as the puppeteer.
but Frank
and the
Oz
voice.
is the dude that did fucking
Yeah.
Kermit.
Isn't he also?
Oh yeah.
Grover?
That's right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So he's in the
So
family.
he's a Muppet.
Yoda's
So,
Yoda's
okay.
So but
Somebody who had a hand in it or a voice in it or whatever. Yeah, there you go.
there are many connections between Star Wars and the Muppets. Perhaps
Wait,
most.
wasn't he
George and-
R2-D2?
Frank Oz.
Yeah, in the actual or no, never mind. I'm sorry. I think I'm wrong.
I want to see. Okay, so let's just for argument's sake say Yoda was a Muppet. Does Baby Yoda, who is a puppet, like they use what is it practical thing?
Oh,
Then if he's not made by Jim Henson, does that not make him a Muppet?
I'm gonna say yes. No, I'm gonna say
Yes, it doesn't?
Yes,
Or-
it doesn't. It doesn't make him a Muppet.
Okay. So even though it is a puppet, but because it's not made by Jim Henson, not a Muppet.
Well,
Yes.
if it's not
Or
made by
Henson-
the
the
same
Henson
effects
Company.
house or something, then yeah, at that point
Yeah.
I would say.
I mean, the whole thing is murky with Yoda
it
for sure.
kind of becomes
But-
like a stepchild
But
sort of.
but
a
what I'm
thing.
saying is not Sesame Street produced by the Jim Henson Company, right? Like so
Yeah.
therefore they are Muppets on Sesame Street.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
At least that's the way I would logically.
Okay.
look
So
at it. I mean, I know
What
the
we were
Muppet,
talking
the
about,
Muppets,
so the
as
argument-
far as the movies,
Yeah, so the argument-
that set. If you were to unless you were considering the Muppets to be like that particular group, that would be about the only way that I could see a separation.
so that's what he was trying. He was
But
saying
all
that
all of his puppets
all of his
would be
puppets
Muppets.
would be Muppets,
Yeah.
right? But doesn't he say that at some point? Isn't that? I feel like I read that somewhere that those are actually they're
don't
all
know.
considered Muppets because they're all his puppets. Like Jim Henson's puppets would be Muppets, right?
You know what? The logic is there for me,
And-
but I don't know for
and
sure.
there was plenty of
if
crossover.
he actually quoted.
And
that.
there was plenty of crossover
That
between the
is
Muppet
true,
Show
yes.
and Sesame Street.
Yep, that's true.
Okay.
Okay, I don't know.
I think-
we got to fucking.
I think
you guys are on my side here.
Crossover wise, that kind of sort of proves the point. Just because
I mean, Big
So,
Bird's in
it's
the
like
Muppet
taking
movie.
Aliens and Predator, and okay, apparently them and what was that? And Blade Runner are all apparently in the exact
same
same
universe?
universe because of the Wutani Corporation,
The Wu-Tang Clan?
Okay.
Wu-Tang Clan,
Yeah.
Wutani Clan.
Jim Henson's son did the puppets for that one Melissa McCarthy movie, didn't he?
Yes.
Did
So technically,
those are our Muppets.
Those,
Yeah.
and so is she.
No.
No. Unless I didn't watch the movie unless at some point like she turns into one.
I don't know.
I don't know how it worked.
No, I was
I
just.
don't know. But no, technically those are Muppets.
I was digging on her being a weirdo. That's
Yeah.
all. And the Muppets were.
So you
weird
just got it
too,
today.
so-
You got Disney Plus today.
Yes.
All right. So you haven't dove in just yet.
What do you? Yeah. So what are you trying to say?
No, I'm just
Why?
wa-
What else is there?
Oh, there's a ton of things. But what
Everything.
I'm saying is,
I know. I literally did this. I got it, and then I spent about 45 minutes going, "Whoa,
Yeah.
whoa, oh."
Yeah, exactly. So,
So-
but that's what I'm saying. There's so much. Like, I think last week we started googling or seeing what was on. We were disappointed that Rocket Man wasn't.
Yes,
on there.
Rocket Man's not on there, and
Which-
the Muppet Show. I'm really upset that the Muppet Show's not on.
Funny that you say.
Rocket Man.
Funny that we were talking about this because I just had a conversation about Rocket Man recently. I'm trying to remember exactly. Oh, someone asked me if I saw the movie Passengers. Have you seen it? The one
Yeah.
with Chris Pratt and Jennifer
Yeah.
Lawrence in
Yeah.
space.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, I saw it. Kind of reminded me of Rocket Man. And they're like, the Elton John thing? I'm like, no. And then I realized, oh, they're called the same thing.
Yeah.
No, you don't remember. And I don't remember the comic's name. You probably do.
Harlan Williams.
Yeah. I was like, there was a 90s movie where this guy, he's basically a fucking idiot, but he becomes an astronaut, makes it so, or comes out of his hypersleep really early,
Yeah.
and he just.
Well, he doesn't close the capsule.
Yeah, he doesn't close it, but I just said he comes out early.
Yeah.
And he basically does the same thing as Chris Pratt and Jennifer Lawrence, except he's by himself. He just
yeah.
he just survives and fucks around
And eats all the
and
food.
eats all the food.
And he goes crazy. He
and goes
paints
crazy.
his face.
Exactly. Because
Oh, God, this movie sounds so familiar, and that was right when I was like, God damn, how come I don't remember that movie?
do you remember this trailer?
Yeah, look this up.
Don't have to look it up. It's playing right now.
Look it up, bro.
William Sadler.
It's
Okay.
literally playing right now as we speak.
Yeah, but look it up, bro.
Okay. But you have to talk.
Okay, so that's already an all-star cast that I'm seeing.
Yeah,
It's a great movie,
You
dude.
have fucking the Grim
So
Reaper.
look, yeah. So this guy just threw up. He couldn't hang on the.
Okay.
So you have the Grim Reaper here. You have Harlan Williams, that guy that I've seen in a bunch of '90s movies. Harland.
He killed the horse in
Half baked.
Yeah.
Half-Baked.
That's right. Where did he go? Is he still alive?
I don't know. He's still done movies
killing it,
here
man.
and there.
He's still doing stand up. He's still fucking hilarious. And actually, he has a band with the guys from the Bare Naked Ladies.
Oh no shit!
Yeah.
Nice. Those guys. Since we were talking about '90s and stuff like that, they weren't.
I love this. It's totally impractical, but because of
It's just so silly. It's just funny.
And
Okay, now I remember it. Now I
Before
remember.
we
it.
looked it up, I had no idea it was a Disney movie.
Yeah, that was the only place I would watch. I was able to watch it. Was on the Disney Channel,
Yeah.
and I love
Okay,
that.
you know
movie.
why I couldn't remember the movie? Because for some reason I was imagining Robin Williams as the lead character.
That
I
would-
don't
that would
know
make sense.
Why?
Why? Why does it make sense?
Not just because Robin Williams
'Cause
was
I
in a
was-
ton of Disney movies.
Yeah, and
Jack.
I
Remember
mean
Jack?
because Mork, he was Mork from Ork.
Yeah.
Which I always thought it was. I always liked the show Mork and Mindy. I didn't even realize until. Fuck,
you know who that is?
maybe.
just ignore it. Go.
Okay.
But I didn't even know that it was supposed to be a spin-off of Happy Days,
Happy Days,
until
yeah.
like fucking Jesus, maybe
That's right, 'cause
10
he was
years
in
ago.
one episode of Happy
Yeah,
Days.
just the one episode.
Mork.
Mork from Ork was a one-time visitor, or maybe two-time visitor
Yeah.
to Happy Days, and he interacted
but they-
specifically with fucking Henry Winkler. Goddamn, the Fonz.
Yeah.
And then the Fonz
loved
never
it.
said anything about it because everybody would think he was
It was
cooking a
crazy.
pook in
Yeah.
the head.
That's
And
fucking
shit
weird.
like that. Yeah, it
Yeah,
was
but everybody
crazy.
loved Mork so much that they gave him a spin-off show.
And
Nice.
he did, the character on Happy Days did all of his little tricks with the fucking finger drinking and shit like that.
Yeah.
And the nanu nanu.
Nanu,
and
nanu.
shit. It was awesome. It was really awesome.
Really want to know what it is about me that I don't give one fuck about older things. Like I've seen it.
Because you haven't seen certain older things?
No, I watch it and I'm like, all right. It's not applicable to where like I was saying. It doesn't like.
I really hate that about you.
I know you do. But and
It
it's not
doesn't
like,
twang those strings.
It's like
Which is weird, 'cause I love-
because I just love everything. I don't know. Like
Well,
as
it's
far as
like-
entertainment goes, like
I enjoy history, the knowledge of it, but for whatever reason, like I don't care about watching old things.
I do. I love it so much. Like
Fuck.
I
You
can
can sit and
like, I can
watch
sit and
every.
watch-
You can
Still
sit and
cold
watch
all
every
around.
episode of Golden Girls, and I'll tell you what. Right now, every single episode is every single episode of every single other show.
Yeah.
Plot wise.
Yeah, it's pretty much.
Well, yeah,
Holy
there's
shit!
Yeah.
It's crazy. You can just see that.
Yeah.
But then you take the
Golden
way
Girls is
it's
pretty funny.
reinterpreted in, say, like a show like Married with Children, and those. The
But also,
reinterpretation
do you-
is amazing. Empty Nest, by the way, was a spin-off of the Golden Girls.
Really?
Yep.
I didn't know that.
This
so
is an interesting, weird trivia episode of Humpcast where we're just learning about what spin-offs come from where.
do you think though, like Garrett? I think it's also because like
Don't expect carbonation, guys.
That's fine. I watched a lot of old TV growing up because I don't know. It just like because I think maybe it's because I enjoyed watching TV with my parents, but they didn't like any of the shit that I liked. So like I would watch what they were watching, and I grew to love like some of the classic shows. Like like my mom liked Laverne and Shirley. Like so I'd watch Laverne and Shirley with her,
This is for both of us.
Fair.
You and I.
which is also a Happy Days spin-off too, isn't it? Laverne and Shirley.
Oh, shit. I want to say yes.
I think it is.
I definitely want to say yes.
And I watched Happy. I mean, me and my cousin Sean actually ended up getting into Happy Days. We loved Happy Days, so we'd watch Happy Days all the time.
I think this actually does trace back to the same thing with the music thing. I like during
There's a little hit on it.
growing up, my parents they weren't really there until they got off of work, but I remember them getting off very late, like sometimes 5 or 6 p.m., which is most of the time I spent with what? Oh, this actually used to be one of my fucking jams back in the day. I forgot about that. My emo jams.
2012, dude.
Interesting, spicy.
This
But yeah,
shit
not
probably
really.
went
It
up.
is a little spicy.
This shit went up the same year it came out. Then probably.
No, I think this is early.
Oh wait,
no,
I'm sorry. I'm
this is when
thinking
it was uploaded.
2002. I was thinking of 2002, bro.
Yeah.
Wow.
Holy shit.
It's so weird to think that 2002 is actually it's actually old now.
Yeah.
It is.
That's
It
over.
is.
That's
I
over 10 years
seriously-
ago.
I
Holy shit,
seriously
we're
looked-
closer to 20 years ago than.
I
Fuck.
look at. Oh look, your mom chimed in. Yes, it is.
Yeah. What? I don't know what that means.
I don't know what that means.
I'm assuming
Linda,
what
why,
I said.
why does your son hate fucking classics?
Because they didn't get home until after like 6 p.m., where at which point I had already done all my No, I didn't do my homework, but I had already done.
Like what about like? What about,
Liar!
So
okay.
I would get I would get out of school, and then I would come at least when I was early on until about like 11 here with my grandma. All she did was watch Channel 7. What is it? Soap operas and then telenovelas. And so the TV that I watched was all my own, which is whatever I could find. Usually it was Cartoon Network or whatever, or whatever my brother was watching, and I'd just be around. And so I didn't get exposure to older stuff, like stuff from the past. So like how you're saying your parents would watch probably Laverne and Shirley or whatever the fuck you were talking about.
Well, my mom
Happy
loved
Days.
Laverne and Shirley, Happy Days, and like.
My parents didn't watch that around me. The only thing that I can remember my parents watching, and it was just my mom really more so, is the WB shows, which were current at the time.
Yeah, but that's
So
but
like
that's also why.
Dawson's Creek. She watched Felicity. She watched Buffy, and I really got into Buffy.
Yeah,
I fucking love Buffy,
and that's why I hate those shows. They're just way too like sappy for me. Like I get it, I love drama, but
Yeah.
like I told you, like there's a certain element to those WB shows,
Yeah.
like that I just can't. That just doesn't click with me. It's like it's just too much. Like it doesn't it leaves
like cramming a hell of a
a
lot.
lot of emotion
Yeah.
into just this, and it's like.
That's kind of why I think that trying to read H.P. Lovecraft is so hard, because he throws so much description
Yeah.
and there's so much shit going on. Like, it's great, but
But it's-
goddamn,
Well, I don't know. Like I guess I've
a
always
little
liked that.
motion blur
Dawson's
is okay.
Creek, I haven't given it a shot, but I've heard it's a great show. Whatever.
I don't remember watching Dawson's Creek like back in that era. I definitely watched with my
Well,
mom.
Smallville.
Buffy, Smallville was a little bit later, but still I watched that.
I
And
feel so old.
Angel, which was a spin-off
I'm
of
thinking
Buffy.
about fucking goddamn Falcon Crest and
I don't know what the fuck that is.
I don't know what that is either, you old fuck.
I remember Sequest. You remember Sequest?
I remember
Dude.
Ryan Seacrest.
Wait, Sequest. That was
Where they had. It was essentially
they had the talking dolphin, right?
It was a giant submarine that people lived on. So it was almost like a space show, but underwater.
Gotcha.
And then they did incorporate stuff that had to do with like sci-fi, like spacey stuff, like aliens. I think they met at some point, but then they had a dolphin that they could
Sequest.
talk to.
Yeah, the main dude, that main blonde kid, like
Isn't the guy
kinda
from It? I thought it was from It.
Yeah, from the original It. He killed himself.
Yeah.
Like the last movie he did was called Hearts War, with which is really good movie, by the way. I've seen it. It has Bruce Willis and shit in it, and it's about World War II POWs and shit like that. And this black pilot from the Red Tails gets shot down, and they use him and a supposed mock trial, which they knew was just a mock trial, but it was just to cover up them trying to escape. And really great movie, and I guess he got his scene cut or something, but I shit you not, I saw it on television, and his scene was intact on television, but he hung himself back in like 2001 or some shit like
Oh,
that.
so that's probably why they cut the scene.
Jonathan Brandis, he was the guy who he was in like Ladybugs with Rodney Dangerfield.
Yeah.
And yeah, he was in It. He played Bill
Garrett has no
Denborough
idea about
in It as well.
I chimed in I clocked back in when he was talking about It because I was talking about that.
Yeah.
But I was like, you're like Ladybugs. He has no fucking idea.
Oh yeah.
Those are things.
Yeah, the mom from Ladybugs, I believe
What
that
about-
was the mom from Charles in Charge.
I know. Okay, so I know all these like intros, but
Okay,
I've
how
never
about-
seen an episode of Charles in Charge. But I know Charles in Charge of our land.
What about- Tell me
Of
this.
our
though.
days
not
and
even
our
the-
nights.
Not even the classic comedies though. See, this is what I'm talking about. Like
Sure.
the classic comedies are the ones that like are near and dear to my heart because because it's like they're just some of them are timeless. Like if you watch. I mean, well, Ghostbusters is one for sure, you know, right?
Yeah.
You love Ghostbusters.
Yes.
I love that his son is doing the sequel. That's
Harold Ramis'
amazing.
son?
No, what's his name? The original director
Oh, yeah. I thought it was Harold Ramis, writer.
creator. No, not Ramis. Who's the other guy?
Sounds. I don't know. That sounds accurate.
Damn it.
I forgot what his name is though. I will look it up right now.
Anyway.
I don't think it's Ramis. The guy who played Egon.
Harold
I
Ramis.
I don't think it's. Oh, maybe it is his son. I don't know. Shit.
Yeah, the guy that was also in Stripes with Bill Murray.
Yeah.
Harold Ramis.
Oh. Okay.
Jason Reitman.
No, Reitman. It's Reitman. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's Reitman's son who actually is. It's him.
So does it say directed by Jason Reitman,
Yep.
who was the son of Ivan Reitman.
Who's Ivan Reitman?
The guy who wrote and directed Ghostbusters.
Yeah, filmography. Boom.
Okay.
2. Yeah.
But I thought, well, I mean, I guess that was him and Harold Ramis then, because I thought Harold Ramis was the other guy
Maybe.
that also wrote Ghostbusters.
Oh yeah, and
So-
also did the follow up and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I think. Well, he was involved in a whole bunch of other.
Whatever.
shit
That
too,
guy was
but-
he was a great writer too.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, so like Animal House, like all the National Lampoon movies, like the
So,
classic National
like I
Lampoon
said-
movies.
So Meatballs.
I haven't seen Meatballs actually.
Or Meatballs too, even, but Meatballs. It's one of those summer
The fuck is
camp kids. Fucking, they meet an alien. It's like E.T. It's like
I haven't seen that one.
E.T. meets summer camp.
You have to understand.
Shenanigans.
Oh, Meatballs
movie.
was the fat camp one.
I think it
Are
was.
you thinking heavyweights?
No, I'm not
No,
thinking
no, no, no.
heavyweights. But Meatballs is, but it's like it is like fat camp, isn't it?
No, it's like there might be a fat camp in there, but it's like losers. There's the losers
whatever. I
and the
gotta watch that
winners. Yeah, it's really funny and raunchy as well.
Yeah.
It's
So okay, but like,
Yeah.
can you have you've seen Animal House? You've seen
Well,
Caddyshack.
this
You've seen the Blues Brothers.
This is what
you've
I'm
seen,
saying is if I was exposed to it and I liked it, I still enjoy it. The thing is that I've never gone back to find stuff I haven't seen, and if I haven't been exposed to it, then I don't care.
But that's so weird, though. Like
Revenge of the Nerds.
There's people in front of you right now.
I rewatched Revenge of the Nerds a bajillion times. Granted, many times was because it was like
on
the
Comedy
first
Central.
The first time I saw boobs,
right?
and I loved it. And
first time some people saw a
which
Bush
is weird.
too.
Bush.
Oh yeah,
we got Bush.
Yeah, but which is weird now, especially in this culture. Like if that movie, well, it wouldn't come out now. But the thing is, like, it's
even Animal House is pretty fucking.
Yeah, but I just find it so interesting. Like if you look back at certain things,
but Revenge of the Nerds
Belushi's dead too, though.
Like,
so that
like first of all.
But Animal House was first.
You don't think
then
about
Revenge
it,
of the Nerds.
like the main character, Louis Skolnick, he rapes that girl because because he has sex with her without her knowing that it's him.
Yeah, absolutely.
But because it was the 80s or the early 90s, they're like, that's fine.
No, that was 80s. That was 80s for sure. That was all
like,
80s.
It's okay.
Shit.
She liked it.
Right.
It's all right.
Exactly.
She liked it.
Yeah. Well,
And
same thing with them getting the picture and doing the whipped cream as the pies and stuff like that.
That's my pie.
Yeah.
But then again, I mean, in the same vein, you kind of have to look at, the guys also were assaulting people, burning down houses and shit like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
beating people
and hazing.
up.
And all that. But anyway,
they were exploiting the lambdas.
But besides, I mean, it's funny because if you look at that movie and then look at Animal House, the worst thing that happens in Animal House is the excessive drinking and driving. First of all, and then he creeps on the girl in her window.
Yeah.
But that's about it.
That's almost no worse than what fucking George McFly did in Back to the Future and shit.
He's a peeping Tom.
His fucking dad was a peeping Tom.
and this kind of goes into an interesting sort of dialogue where it's like this shit happens, but the thing is those movies kind of glorified it, whereas now you kind of can't do that anymore. I'm not saying you should.
I actually don't think it
you
glorified
can't.
it so much as it it threw a funny spin on it in the same way that even nowadays with everything going on PC wise, people still have no problem making fun of prison rape.
That's true.
Yeah.
So kind of balances out there a little bit to a certain degree.
What I'm saying is in the zeitgeist, there's always something specific. So you're saying, people are fine with that now.
I like that word zeitgeist.
Right. It's a Smashing Pumpkins song.
It's also the name of a really good beer drinking spot up in San Francisco.
That's
amazing.
Cool. The thing is, it's just what has to do with whatever the people care about. What I was saying is that, they portrayed it, and I'm not saying glorified isn't this is awesome. They're saying it has no consequences. So the way that just taking as an example Revenge of the Nerds, because it's the one I'm most familiar with, they're like, you're totally fine raping this girl as long as she liked it. They're not saying that explicitly, but that's the message.
Well,
whereas you can't do it now.
Let's get away from the Revenge of the Nerds one because that's pretty. That's like
a very hyperbolic movie.
and it's
to be sure.
But that's the only thing.
That's the biggest offense. Really, is that I know that movie is really terrible. When you think about it.
Yeah.
When you really.
But what I'm saying is that's what I grew up with. I was like, that's it was funny at the time. Then you think about it, and you're like, oh, it's not. That's fucked up.
Right.
But,
okay. But this is what. Okay. But in that same vein, in Animal House, I feel like what makes it still play, when John Belushi's on the ladder, he's trying to, I forgot what he's trying to break into the sorority or something, right? And then he gets,
I think he was trying to break in.
And then he gets to a window where the chick is changing. And then he breaks the fourth wall, fucking looks at the camera, gives you the eyebrows, and then looks back, right?
That was one of the best thing about those movies back then, is because there was a lot of the 80s comedies that would break the fourth wall.
Well, that was the 70s one.
Yes.
But anyway, I think
even before Deadpool, guys.
I think it was almost like an old Bugs Bunny move.
Even older. Yeah.
So.
Because he'd always point to the camera. Yeah.
What was my point? Oh, my
Pink
point.
Panther did that once too.
So my point is, I feel like the theme of it is kind of what because you can't. I mean, yeah, sure. Out of context, it's okay, this guy's peeping on this woman, but when you think about it, it's
in context.
In context, he's. I mean, they're a bunch of troublemaking college students.
Yeah.
Who weren't, they're not drugging and raping women. They just,
Yeah.
and they're just into shenanigans. And then like he just happens to come across this window. And he's like, of course he's like, it's like a boys will be boys type thing. You know
But
what I
that's
mean?
the whole.
Yeah.
That's the mentality that gets people in trouble now because there's.
I know, but
there's
that's
certain
that's what I'm saying.
lines
Yeah.
that people can't like. They're thinking this is fine. Not necessarily that they are thinking that, but they're just saying it's like I saw this in a movie. It's a boys will be boys type of thing, and that's what people got so angry about was that was so.
Sure, I get that.
That's
I
why
know.
we have
Not consequential.
But that's
Yeah.
why we have progressive movies that teach people. And again, people and like okay, with me, I grew up on all that stuff. I thought it was funny, but I got to tell you now, I think that shit is cringy as fuck.
And
But I mean, there was because you have that certain mentality, and then you grow up and you become a more mature person.
Sure.
Like even nowadays,
But you
like just
can
joking
still-
around at work or something like that. If somebody comes off with some sophomore humor, it pisses me off
Yeah, me
sometimes.
too.
Like it
Me
makes
too.
me cringe. I'm just like, first of all,
Yeah.
Me too.
that's
I
not
understand
funny, and secondly,
Hang on.
yeah.
Hang on though. But you can't you still watch that scene
Of
and
course.
laugh?
Yes.
Isn't it still funny
Absolutely.
Yes, and
absolutely.
this is actually-
it takes me back to exactly the same
Yeah.
spot I was back then. Even though
Besides
I know
doing
it's
that-
not
besides doing
okay,
that, like
it
if-
was funny.
Besides doing that, if you showed that to somebody who had never seen that movie before, that movie is still funny.
Pause on that idea first. Before you said that actually exactly played out exactly what I was trying to get to as my point. Because I've seen certain things, that specific thing resonates in my brain as I like that was fun, but I realize that there's issues with that have in my moral compass or whatever the fuck.
Perfect.
The reason that I don't care for other things necessarily is because I haven't seen them, and when I watch them, they don't resonate with me.
Okay.
So it's as if you showed me something.
Have you seen Animal House?
That makes sense, though.
I don't remember it. I may
So
have.
you probably not. So,
But that's what I'm saying.
So
If
you
you
know
show-
what scene I'm talking about?
Which one? Oh, that yes.
The
I've
Peeping
still-
Tom scene.
Yeah, I've seen that. So
So
that's
that-
why I'm thinking. There's a lot of movies where I've seen.
They've
clips.
referenced that in
Clips
so
or
many,
whatever.
So many
movies.
different
I've
movies.
referenced this. But what I'm saying is like I've seen the entirety for a fact of Revenge of the Nerds. But if you showed me something like Animal House or another 80s or older movie where something is that I don't like, then I'm just like turned off by it. Whereas like even though if I maybe if you showed me Revenge of the Nerds for the first time today, I might have hated it.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
because of the fact that I grew up and I saw it, that's why it resonates, and that's why I don't go back.
But that's what
because there's-
differentiates the great movies from the good ones, or from the okay
You know what's
ones.
really
Because
great?
you know,
I love
don't-
this whole freaking conversation.
Yeah.
Because this is the essence of what I don't get about some of the newer CW shows and shit like that. All these teen shows,
And there's
that are
plenty of new
supposed
things
to
that I
show
don't resonate with, too.
teenage life and shit like that,
Yeah.
and they're all so sexual and rapey themselves.
Yeah.
It's
I
and
understand
and
that.
I'm coming from a place where I saw even rapier, like weirder things and stuff like that, like way back when, and
Yeah.
I recognized, okay, this is definitely just television.
But
the fact that people are just like they eat it up, they eat it. Oh,
They do.
It's so wrong, but I love it.
Yeah, it's true though. It is true. It's pretty. Some of the stuff that they're coming out with now is way more graphic.
But I
than some of the
totally
shit
get what
that-
you mean.
Yeah,
like,
but what graphic? Yes, but the whole thing about back in the day was, like I said, was the things that they did were inconsequential. These ones are very much about the consequences.
consequences.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah,
So the
yeah,
context is key. Yes,
Yeah.
totally. Okay.
very good point. Very good point.
So, I mean, even
very
like
good
Fast Times in Ridgemont High, like that's like a late 70s, early 80s movie.
80s,
But
early 80s.
but
yeah.
the movie does have some like some consequential things in it about like teen pregnancy and
And that's why
Yeah.
that's kind of why it works. So like
Shag
you said,
was the same way.
there are definitely
Weird
things-
science a little bit.
there are definitely
Yeah.
things that still hold up because of that fact. They were
like, that's why that movie still holds up. I
maybe
think.
that's what it is that I like.
you
I
make
like
good
things
point.
that like they are realistic in the sense that they have those consequences, but they are still funny and blah blah blah.
Most John Hughes movies are pretty consequential, so you can actually watch
Yep.
those movies and they all still kind of hold up. Even
Yeah.
though, I mean, even fucking Ferris Bueller's Day Off,
Yeah.
it's so like way
There's
out there.
so
and
many
and
risque.
yeah,
yeah.
and every fucking preteen's dream was to have that fucking day off, right? Like Ferris Bueller's Day Off,
Yep.
So
You know, it's funny. Do you? I'm curious. It is going off a tangent, but I feel like we left off in a good spot in there. Do you remember the first time you played hooky from school?
Yes.
Yep.
You want to tell the story, or is it a story worth telling?
I ditched school with a girl that I was dating at the time in high school.
That was the first time you ever did school in high school?
This is in high school. I never ditched school before.
Wow. Okay.
I was terrified of ditching school because like
ditching school or pretending to be sick. What's the?
Oh, that's a different
where
thing.
you go to
That's a
school
different thing.
and then you ditch away from school.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
Okay.
no, I went to
All right,
school.
I just want to make sure
no.
we're on the
Let's
same
do it.
conversation.
Your parents thought you went to school.
Okay.
That's the base.
Gotcha.
Okay.
You don't necessarily have to have gone.
Well,
you don't necessarily have just you.
two things.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, okay, the better story is the day I just didn't go to school. But then when I got my like,
You can tell multiple stories, but we're talking about like just this one right now because Ferris Bueller. I'm like, what's the thing where it's like your parents think you're doing something and you're not doing that?
You probably know exactly who I'm talking about when I say this because you went to high school with me. So
That would make sense.
I was
yeah.
about 14, 15. I knew somebody who had a car, and so we were kind of together. I don't know, seeing each other, whatever. So she didn't want to go to school that day, and she was driving to school.
She put her tongue in your mouth and you put your tongue in her mouth.
And then she was like, "Let's just not go to school." And then I was like,
And then we
"Great
put
idea."
our tongues in each other's mouths.
Yeah, and then we left.
Yeah.
And then we just left and fooled around for an entire afternoon.
That was it?
That was it. But then my mom knew I didn't go to school
Yeah, obviously.
because they used to call.
Yeah, I'm sure they still do.
Yeah.
I don't know why it never occurred to me that they would do that. But I remember the first time I did it, I was literally in 3rd or 4th grade. So what is that?
3rd or what? You ditched school in 3rd? Oh, you know what? I got
6 or 7?
I got another
no,
story.
Sorry.
Too.
I want to say 8.
Yeah, like 8.
8 or 9.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm horrible at doing anything that is related to school outside of school, even if it's to my benefit. One of the things that I did, or forgot to do rather, was I didn't get my parents to sign a permission slip for a field trip, which totally would have been cool for me, but I just didn't do it because that was just who I was, and probably still am. I don't like it.
I've done that before.
I don't like doing work outside of the place that I do work. So it's like everything has its own spot. I forgot to get my parents to sign a permission slip. My entire class went on a field trip, and
You were the only one that didn't go?
yeah. And then they're like, okay, well, you can't come with us, so go to. They're like, you should go to. They put you in like the kindergarten room.
Yeah.
Go to the kindergarten room and do work. Here's a packet, whatever.
Yeah.
They left. I was supposed to walk to the kindergarten classroom. Instead, I walked out of school.
Yeah.
And I walked out of school, and I remember I was like, my heart was racing because I was like, what the fuck's going on?
Someone's going to stop me.
Someone's gonna. No, that's exactly what happened. I remember walking home, and at this point, I lived here, and I went to school a block away. And I don't think my mom, who is listening right now, she's commenting. I don't think she's ever heard this story. But I
Hi, Mom. Sorry.
when I was fucking 8. And so I'm walking home, and literally every car that passed by, because in my head, like the TVs were like, "Oh, someone's gonna find you. Truancy officers are about looking for kids that aren't in school."
Right.
And so I'm like hiding behind bushes, and like every time I saw any person, just hiding. Hiding. Like legit, there was some ivy that I jumped into because I saw a car, and then I finally made it back here to my house. And literally, my mom hadn't gone to work yet. And so I'm like, fuck, what do I do? And she lived in the back house. We all lived in the back house. And so
Your dad's listening too.
Yeah, I know. I get it. My parents are listening. And so I literally snuck in without her knowing. And then I went behind the back house and hid until she went to work. And then I just had a great day. Until they called and told my parents that I didn't go to school.
Yeah. But you did.
But I did go to school, but I disappeared.
Yeah.
And so I don't remember if they remember, but yeah, that was just, I remember that explicitly. Like
That's
that was
funny.
the first day I ever. It was like, fuck this, I'm out.
One time, okay, so when we were going to Gidley, They were so fucking. They were
Gidley.
so lame.
This is our
This is my middle school.
No, I remember Gidley. I actually did some detention time over at Gidley.
Yeah, so we went to Gidley. So this fucking our principal at the time.
Wait, that's the one that's on Lower Azusa, right?
One on Arden and the Lower
off
Azusa.
of that.
Okay, yeah, that's where I did
Right there by my grandma's.
Saturday school. And
Oh,
shit
because
like
they
that.
made you go to a different place.
Yeah,
What
because
the fuck?
I was going to.
Dude, the more and more I think about our
I was
school
going to
systems,
Rio
I'm like, this
Hondo,
is straight
so
up
they
prison.
would send us to Gidley.
Yeah.
to-
Yeah.
You know what the most fucked up thing was ice. Did you ever get ice?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, at a Royal.
Yeah.
right? Yeah. Yeah.
Mr. Pace.
Yeah, the ice.
know
Yeah,
what's
and
funny?
the ice room used
Yeah.
to be over in the same corridor as
the arts department.
relationship
Yeah.
and arts
Yeah.
department
Yeah.
and stuff like that. Yeah.
The more and more I think about our public school system, the more I think this is straight up prison. Think of that punishment. You're not allowed to learn, but
Yeah.
you're still gonna be here.
But you still have to be here. Yeah, how whack is that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like,
yeah.
so how's this supposed to make this any better?
You know what was funny? I was
as
complaining
an
about
outcome?
this. I was complaining about this to like I was talking to my family about it.
Yeah.
And my aunt had Mr. Pace at a
No shit.
for detention. She said she was like, "Oh, is that what they called it?" She's like, "Yeah, we used to do that shit too with Mr.
No
Pace." And she was like,
shit.
"He always had." She said they had Breakfast Club like the way they did in the like in the movie.
Yeah.
She's like, yeah, and I was like, no, this was. I said we had isolated classroom environment, and I was like that too was when this Mr. I was like, so his whole fucking
Yeah.
career was to deal with the shitty kids.
Wow. That would
think about that.
explain the attitude then.
Think about the mindset of the person that volunteers for that,
Yeah.
because they're not helping. They're very much not happy.
No, of course not.
This is not the happy person's like.
No,
I'm
and
gonna-
he
I'm
was
gonna
like
make sure
some
that these-
military guy
yeah.
too.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make sure that
Yeah.
these kids actually have a future. No, it's you're being a warden because
Sit
your
at
life
your desk. Shut the
sucks.
Yeah.
fuck up.
Shut up.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Like that person is like, my life sucks, so your life gets to suck today.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And then
yeah.
Mr. Miners did Saturday school, and he loved Saturday school.
Oh,
Yeah, Mr. Minor. Yeah,
Because
I
it
actually
gave
have
him-
a little
it gave
warm
him a
spot in my
purpose.
heart for him.
Yeah.
Just for a few things.
Don't
that
turn in the
happened.
packet. No credit.
Yeah. And like it just feels so sad. Which is like I really do enjoy like uplifting people and like sort of teaching certain things if you want to learn things. I
Man.
enjoy that. But being
Yeah.
a teacher in that environment has totally turned me off from anything that would have to relate to any sort of like scholastic sort of environment.
Yeah.
I
You
don't
ever
want
think
I don't
back-
want to be there.
You ever think-
Yeah.
It's like when I went to jail, I literally have PTSD from
Sure,
school
I imagine.
and jail.
Yeah, dude, me too. Well, I didn't go to jail,
Shit.
but but like you know what I mean. Like there are certain. You ever think back on certain things and you're like, I never want to feel like that ever again.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, like
Yes.
Exactly.
as a kid in school, you know, like where the adults are supposed to do something that make you know,
Dude,
benefit you in some
I
way.
remember literally having the principal made me like cry because he swore up and down that I had something to do with something that happened. This was in high school. They some of the kids they threw the stink bombs. Remember those little glass
Yeah,
capsules?
Yeah.
that was your game though.
No, this is before I did it. Because I
This is how he learned.
but this no, actually it is his fault. It's
You
literally
know
his
what's
fault.
funny though? You know,
This-
hold
no,
on.
no,
Let
no,
me
no.
time out
Okay,
for a
okay.
second though. The best thing about every time Garrett almost got in trouble or got fucking blamed or accused of something was because he would do that shit. It was like. And
But-
it was like right up his alley, and so he'd be like, "What the fuck? I didn't do it." But dude,
This is really funny because it's such a 10-year difference
Yeah.
between when you guys were there and I was there, and it's still all the same
It's-
shit.
yeah,
it's
it
the
is. It's the
exact
same.
same
It's
shit.
the same.
And almost
yeah,
the
no, of course
exact
it.
same cast of characters.
Yeah.
Because thing, okay, so this is what it was. The thing was basically I would get exposed to something and then would do it.
Okay.
But the fact that I didn't. So this specific instance is like they were so sure and they
Well, you thought you were Eminem? I am whatever you say I am.
kinda. To be honest, I'm like, no. Think about it. If you're gonna, if
I know,
somebody,
I know.
if somebody treats you a certain way, the more and more they do it, the more and more you just like, fine, that's what I am then.
Right. Yeah.
If you say I'm a bad kid over and over again, I'm going to play the
That's
bad kid.
absolutely true. Yeah, I know.
And so that's why, as a child, and even like, there's been multiple instances. Like, remember
It's the
when,
same thing we talked. I mean, just on an offshoot here, but it was just the same thing we talked about one time when I was talking about how, like, in relationships, like, if you're constantly being portrayed as somebody who's going out and cheating,
Then
it's
you're like, fuck it,
they're
why
like,
don't
why
I
the fuck
just do
don't
it?
I just do it? Because you always think I am anyway.
Exactly.
Gaslighting, yeah.
I never understood why people didn't get that correlation. Where it's like, the more and more that you treat me this way, I'm going to want to act that way.
Right.
subconsciously or consciously or any of it. And so, like, for instance, like there's been multiple
Well, if
times
you're dealing with
where-
consequences for something you didn't do, you may as well do it.
exactly.
And that's exactly what the mindset that ends up yeah, that's exactly right. And
I was in
Yes.
I was in a literal honors summer course. They call it GATE. I don't know if you're familiar with
Gate.
I
That
don't
was,
even remember
that was
This
like honor
sounds
students. Yeah.
familiar. Yeah.
And I was
You
kicked-
would be, you fucking chink.
Okay.
The only reason why you can say that is because you look Asian.
Yeah. Not for math. Definitely not for
I'm
math.
just
I was
kidding.
never good
I'm
at math.
just kidding, guys. I love Garrett very much, and I love Chinese people.
I love Chinese people. I love Chinese people.
I just thought it was funny because this was like
I like
this was like the
fried rice.
this was like the conversation we had about last week, right?
Yeah.
I said Beaner, and everyone got a little up in arms about Beaner.
Oh, in your
Really?
show?
Why?
Yeah,
We-
for
we-
sure.
No, we were talking about how we talked about the word Beaner, and I pointed at the girl that was on the show, and I said Mexico. I just kept pointing at her. And, like,
okay.
and it turned into a whole thing.
now-
Mexico.
Yeah.
And it was a
And
brown
I was like,
girl.
they all go to Mexico. I pointed at, and I'm like, I don't know why I'm pointing at you. It's just,
It's because you're racist. Just accept it. It's
it's
fine.
not. That's not
You're
why.
brown. I couldn't help it.
Yeah.
Well, and then she goes, "Oh, I have a passport," and I was like, "Yeah, to go to Mexico."
Yeah.
and like without.
Okay, you're a comedian though. Come on.
But I wasn't trying. I wasn't trying to. Anyway, whatever the fuck. It just.
It was just the automatic
It just. I mean, it was obvious. Why the fuck? Why? I mean,
magnet.
Obvious. She was
I mean,
so
why,
brown.
Why aren't we
She was,
allowed?
like, so brown.
But why aren't we allowed to make that connection? Because
Aren't you, like, half brown or something?
And I was right the entire
Because you
time.
don't know.
But I was right.
But you don't know.
But I was right.
But you don't know.
But then I asked. Okay, sorry for assuming. Am I right? I was exactly right.
That's fine.
You were right for
but
being
if you
sorry.
were wrong.
But if I was wrong, then I would have said.
But
sorry.
you were right for being sorry.
But the thing is, that's the whole thing. Is why we don't like why it's
But why
so.
aren't you allowed? Why aren't you allowed to?
Because
just
you're not always right. Not you specifically, but
But so.
assuming something is a gamble. Yeah, you could be right.
That is
But,
true. Yeah.
but there's still the very much possible thing that
It's
you're
funny.
not right.
This whole '90s thing has got my brain going because the first thing I thought of with you saying that is
Yeah.
that scene from Alicia Silverstone movie.
Clueless.
Clueless, yeah. Thank you, because I was clueless. about that.
I was gonna say
When
either
she
Clueless or
said-
Batman and Robin.
because
Oh my god! Oh my
because that scene in Clueless when she said when she asks Paul Rudd or something like that to tell the maid something, and she's like, "Well, they're all from Mexico" or something like that, and
Yeah.
she goes, "I'm not a Mexican" or something like that, and then he says, "She's from El Salvador" or whatever. It's a totally different. And she was like,
Yeah.
"Okay." Anyway. Goddamn '90s,
That's
you
the
guys.
mindset, but just not as.
I'm not like that though. Come on, let's be real.
It was
I am
funny.
not a
It's still
racist.
funny like that.
My best
was.
friend is half
See,
Mexican and Chinese.
You couldn't make a movie like Clueless now.
Oh my God.
Sure, you could.
Not
it
the
wouldn't
same
be.
thing.
Yeah, it wouldn't.
It's-
be.
Anyway, what
it's
the
how
fuck
you
were
handle
you
it.
saying, Garrett? I'm sorry.
No,
we went off on a tangent.
I mean, it's inconsequential now. But what I'm
You
saying
were
is
in
like,
Gate.
So yeah, for that
we all
specific,
know you were a smart Chinese kid.
for that specific story, I was literally getting A's, and the fucking teacher had this stupid seating system of if you had a higher grade, you would sit at the more frontward table. If you had lower grades, she put you in the back like some fucking
That wouldn't make any
terrorist.
sense. That doesn't make any sense
No, it
at
doesn't.
all.
It doesn't. But that's what it
'Cause
was.
you would put the less smart kids in the
So
front.
like if
My science
No,
teacher
this
used to
is-
put
this
my
is literally-
brother and I in the back
Yeah.
because we talked too much.
this is literally what it was. It was like if you are more difficult to teach, I'm not going to teach
I'm not
you.
going to deal with you.
I'm not gonna deal with you. I want the
Oh.
So, but she hated me because of the fact that I was
You were smart, but you were
I
an
was
asshole.
smart, but I was an asshole.
Yeah.
So like I would have you and you like you were in the same classes, but I'm saying like that's the people that I would fuck around with is the people that wanted to have fun, but at the same time I paid very much attention to. I enjoyed the subject. I passed all the fucking tests and all the quizzes.
You
I
read
was at the
ahead.
front
You
table.
read ahead at least 3 chapters
Yes,
or something.
I loved
yeah,
it.
I
And
was
so
the same kid.
And but then
I
one
was
day
that same
someone
kid.
fucked up like her doll, like the fucking doll that has the organs,
Yeah.
and she swore to God it was me. She's like, I know it was you. I'm like, what? She's like, you came in here
Wow.
and you broke this doll, and I'm like, why would you say that? I didn't do that. She's like, you're the only one strong enough, and I'm like,
Wow.
No, I would have said you are too.
I don't know. But I mean, because I was actually physically like bigger than the other people in gate because at this point I was in the summer program, not the regular one, and they're all tiny Asian or white people, whatever.
You could stomp next to a desk and those things would fall apart.
They fall out.
They had the flimsiest, stupidest little
And she
hooks.
swore up and down that it was me and kicked me out of the program.
Really?
Yeah, even though I had full fucking high scores.
But
And
let's be honest, Garrett, though. Like, come on. Be honest with yourself. You were the troublemaker.
what I could
So
do.
she
and-
should have. So
No.
Let's be honest.
So
it was
listen,
Arroyo.
This is what. No, it wasn't actually. This was the,
No?
the middle school. What I'm saying
the
is,
middle school. Okay.
Yes.
Gidley?
Seeing what someone's capable of and what their tendencies happen to be is different than actually punishing them for stuff they have done. That's exactly what the whole
Absolutely.
system is about, and it's all fucked up because they're like, oh, you've been accused of, or you've been convicted of this, this, and then this. Why wouldn't you be convicted of this? Because I didn't do it.
true.
And that's what the fuck that's what bugged,
And right there
bugged
is
the shit out of me.
an indictment of the entire criminal
My entire-
justice system right there. Holy shit.
As a
No, it's the
9-year-old.
same way.
As a 9-year-old.
Yeah.
My entire childhood was that.
We learn it from seeing it in school. Okay, well, adults make assumptions. People in power make
Yeah, and
assumptions.
that's when I
Boom.
started to
And
learn that adults weren't always right.
Yeah.
And so what it was
the
was
criminal
like, yes,
justice system is no better than middle school.
kind of.
God damn.
Literally, the point that I was trying to make was like, yes, I was not anywhere close to the perfect child, and I did so many bad things. But the fact of the matter is, they just treated me a certain way, so I continued to be that way.
Can you do me a favor?
What?
Can you tell the story about the mistletoe?
Mistletoe.
Okay, so in high
Before
school,
I get out of here, just do me this one solid. I gotta
Sure,
go.
we're gonna wrap it up. But like, just we're going down that. In high school, they gave us these things.
But
that
you have
could-
to round it. But you have to finish it up with the al kabong. Do you remember that part?
the trash can, or which one?
This was a whole. Okay, I'll tell you the al kabong part.
Okay, you're gonna add in at the end. So,
go ahead.
the lead up to this. So this is again me just being stupid. In high school, we had a teacher that kind of just let us do whatever the fuck we wanted to as long as we were doing work. And so I was doing work, but I had my headphones on. Mm-hmm. But at this point in time, it was during the Christmas season, and you could send grams or little, I kind of like think of Valentine's essentially to different
so it's
people
like
in
a-
different classes. And at this specific iteration, you could send it, and it would be a Christmas gram. This one had mistletoe attached to it, and so everyone got their shit. Blah blah blah. We were doing our work, and there was this big chick that like her pants were literally halfway down her ass, and you could see her ass crack, and she was sitting right next to me, and it fucking bugged me. But she was facing a different direction. So at a certain point, like I was in class, and I thought it was fun. I was like, "Hey, look at this!" I took the leaves of the mistletoe, and I flung them. Like, I didn't, like, fucking shove it or anything. I flung it so that it landed down her ass crack, and I was like, and then she turned around, I'm just like, right, and doing work and shit like that. But that was the end of the class, and nothing happened until later on. I'm literally out, like, the courtyard. I think it was for lunch or recess or some bullshit. And a group of teachers come up to me like the goddamn CIA, and they're like, "Garrett, you need to come with us right now." I'm like, "What?" Like, you need to come with us right now.
Was this before or after the trash can?
Before.
Okay.
I'm like, "What's wrong?" They're like, "We'll tell you later." So they're like, they take me to a classroom, and like, "You need to stay in this classroom." I'm like, "What do you mean? What's going on?" Like, someone has threatened you. I'm like, they didn't tell me that. Like, what's going on? they're like something's going down. What happened was, apparently and later it was kind of funny because we found out it was the brother of one of our friends. But basically, like, this big Asian dude that's like kind of, I guess, involved in an Asian gang or whatever the fuck at the time. That was his girlfriend that I flung the mistletoe in her butt crack.
Wow.
And so
Wait, so somebody saw you then?
no, so keep going with the story. What happened was, I was in the classroom. I was like, I don't know what the fuck's going on, man. And then they opened the door, like, because I'm literally in there with like 4 teachers, like bodyguards. And they opened the door, and I just see a fucking trash can fly across and hit the door. And I hear someone's like, "Where is he? Where is he?" And I'm like, "What the fuck is going on?" And so it takes 4 teachers to stop this big Asian dude from coming in and trying to kick my ass. I'm like, I don't know what the fuck's going on, man. And at which point they take me and him to the principal's office, and he and the girl, and they say what they said about. It's like, oh, fucking, this guy shoved mistletoe up my girlfriend's ass. And I'm like, I don't know what they're talking about, man. No. And then like I'm like, I don't know what the hell they're talking about. And so she's like, no, I knew it was him because I heard his headphones. He was listening to his headphones, and I heard them get closer, and then I felt it. And I was like, nope, I didn't do that. Definitely did not do that. And it just went back and forth, and I was like, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about, man. I didn't do any of that. And I'm curious about like what you wanted to add into the story, because for my recollection, that was it for the majority of it. I was like, I just denied till I died. I don't know if I'm mixing two different stories together, but for sure this happened. When I saw you around, it was either lunch or like passing period. Because we kind of had the same periods in the same area, so we would always walk together. But I do remember, because I remember going like, "What the fuck was that about?" Yeah, you know, because you were talking, and you're like, "Man, I don't know. I got called to the office, and like, apparently this guy thinks I put fucking mistletoe up his ass."
Oh man, I'm gonna go through the rest of Christmas thinking about this fucking story. This is gonna be fucking amazing.
And I started laughing. First of all, that's the most obscure, like.
That's not even where mistletoe goes.
like pucker up, here's an asshole. It's just such an obscure like to blame somebody for something, you know what I mean? Like
I claims I shoved mistletoe up his girlfriend's ass.
Yeah, and he goes, this guy thinks, and then I looked at him, I'm like, come on, dude. I'm like, why'd you do it? He's like, I did it. And I was like, and I looked, he's like, yeah, I did. He did it. He's trying to like get me to not believe it, just in case the fucking the administrators talked to me, but it was just like, come on, dude.
Yeah, apparently they were doing like an in-depth fucking investigation about this.
So now it's an
character background checks and shit. Yeah. Oh shit!
It was just so funny the way you tried to deny to me. Oh, this guy thinks I put fucking mistletoe up his
girlfriend's butt.
I couldn't possibly have done that.
No, it doesn't sound like
something I would do.
Why would I do that?
Like her ass crack was hanging out, and I thought about it, but I didn't actually do it. You know,
it's when you start adding the little details that you know when somebody's lying.
No,
I saw, but I wasn't going to.
But
I was thinking about it, but I would.
Okay, wait a minute. So you used to bring your guitar to school, and I'm thinking this is the same day, but it might not have been the same day because I feel like we had passing periods in the science department. And I remember you having beef with somebody that day, and this guy like bumped you in the hallway or something, and he turned, and then he started talking shit, and I think I might be, like I said, putting two instances together, but he turns around with the guitar and like waves it around. He's like, "El Kabong, bitch, El Kabong," because you were yelling at the guy because he was talking shit to you, and you had the guitar, and you were like threatening to like whack him over the head with it, which was also very funny.
It sounds very familiar.
Because then you kept saying El Kabong, bitch. El
okay,
Kabong.
I was just gonna ask. Were you asking El Come on?
No, El Kabong. You never seen that old cartoon?
Oh!
It might have actually been the same instance.
I misheard what you were saying.
No, okay. So it might have actually been the same instance, but I just don't remember. I remember that being a thing.
Yeah. So and that cracked me up just as much.
But that sounds like something I would do.
Yeah, and I think you did it only because I was standing next to you. You kept saying El Kabong.
Yeah, El Kabong. But I did. I had my. I would bring my acoustic guitar
because it was what the fuck is it? Is what cartoon is it? The fucking
El Kabong.
Is it El Kabong?
I don't know.
It's not. No, that's what he would do with the guitar. El Kabong. Now it's time for El Kabong. Just look it up. Let's look it up.
That's funny shit.
El Kabong. I think
Is it El Kabong?
no, wait, there was a thing that said it.
No, El Kabong is the superhero then, right?
So was it Quick Draw McGraw?
Quick Draw McGraw. That's what it was. Yeah,
Which is an older thing that I
Okay.
watched because Cartoon Network. I
yeah,
would come
because
home
of Cartoon
and
Network.
Cartoon
Quick
Network.
Draw McGraw. That's right. Now it's time for El Kabong. And then yeah, that's right. And he would whack him over the head with a guitar.
Yeah, I thought it was hilarious.
Yeah, it was funny. But that was
I've definitely done that. I just don't remember the exact incident. It might have been this one. It might have been another one because there was a lot of people that didn't like me, and you know.
You got blamed for a lot of shit as it was.
Well,
anyway.
okay, so that has nothing to do with the fact that people didn't like me, but what is this?
Oh, this looks like something new.
Yeah, it's some
Sort of
new-
short.
I don't like it. It doesn't say what I wanted to say, which is El Kabong. The Legend of El Kabong? Does that
Oh my God.
It's a music video. Why can't anything just be
fuck?
exactly what it says? The good, the bad, and...
Yeah, there we go.
Train. Come on! Stagecoach. Come on! Suck 'em up, banker. Come
Yes, dude.
Yeah.
He hits them from behind, so they never see it coming. Oh no! You know what? Technically, they do see it coming.
Yeah,
I'll be damned. Okay.
It's around here. Come on! Hey, watch it, will you, Quick Straw?
Shit.
Oh my God,
Yeah,
dude.
And
Yeah.
it didn't break.
So El Kabong was like a yeah.
Yeah. So
Okay.
I laughed about that
Okay.
for at least a year. I mean, it's still one of those things that just like every time I hear El Kabong, I
Yeah.
think about that time a guy threatened you and you whipped out your guitar and said El Kabong, bitch.
Okay. Now see that the
I think
context.
that was
Context is everything.
Yeah.
That
I was
is
never an aggressive person,
amazingly
but I had
funny.
no problem defending myself. But I mean, that's just a different thing from the whole like.
For
yeah,
just a second,
The school
background,
system- the school system
music,
treated
I
me as
thought
a
it
prisoner and a
said
criminal.
El Kabong something something,
Yeah.
and then went to it.
yeah.
El Kabong's gonna stick in my head for a while. Yeah.
You have to take off.
Yeah, I gotta get going. I gotta go host a show.
Yeah, there's a lot of funny stuff. The one thing that I did thought was hilarious is that, and you sent this to me, but I knew about it already. I did see a movie this weekend. It was not Charlie's Angels. Charlie's Angels bombed horribly.
Oh, they did awful. Yeah.
Yeah, but I saw Ford versus Ferrari, and
How'd you like it?
I really liked
it looks so fucking good. I gotta see it.
It's so good. So I already knew the story, and see, this is the thing where it's like I like history. It just didn't.
This is the whole thing behind the Ford GT, right?
I don't know specifically if that's the
That's the
thing.
car that they built to beat Ferrari. It was the Ford GT.
The GT, then
Yeah.
probably yeah. So there's the whole thing, but basically,
cool.
in a nutshell, this is just history, so it's not really like spoilers or anything. Ford was looking for a way to up their sales and shit like that. They came up with the idea to merge with Ferrari, which was bankrupt at the time, but still winning all these, still winning medals and like the Le Mans,
The Grand Prix.
yeah, the Le Mans, the 24-hour race.
Yeah.
And they're internationally loved, but they were bankrupt, and so we're like, all right, well, let's put in an offer to buy and merge with them and whatever. And then what happened was that Ferrari said no, and they ended up going with Fiat, and Fiat bought them. And so Ferrari,
Fix it again, Tony.
Ford had this literal personal grudge against that. Then so they're like, all right, so then what the fuck do we do? And they partnered with Carroll Shelby, who most people know for the
Cobra.
Cobra. You see
Yeah,
all
buddy.
these Mustangs.
Yeah.
To create a race car that would beat Ferrari in the Le Mans.
Yeah.
And so
And that was the Ford GT.
and it's this story, but the whole thing, the movie at least, and it's not necessarily it translated in the trailers. Much more of the driver's story. Ken Miles.
Yeah.
Ken Miles being the driver that was known for driving the Ford so much better and creating so many records at Le Mans. And so it was much more about him than anything, with Shelby being probably the second lead, and then everyone else being
Cool.
side
I
characters. But
do
it was
gotta
so
get
fun.
going.
You should check it
Sorry,
out.
guys.
I wanna
go
say-
ahead and wrap the show up
Yeah, we're gonna wrap it up
without me.
we're saying goodbye now, so whatever.
Okay.
Thank you for coming in and tuning in and chiming in. I appreciate all the people in the comment section. Thank you so much, including my mother. Thank you.
Baba Louie was
Baba
his-
Louie.
was the sidekick. That's right.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Jeremy Northwood, for coming in and sharing some beer with us.
Jeremy
No, but- hey,
Northwood.
I have some. I have beers coming, man. I've got beers coming, man.
Good. So we'll have you
Good.
back on for that.
Good.
All right, cool.
You can follow us everywhere at Humpcast. Me personally at Garrett_AM Lee. Ryan D at
At Ryan P. Demarest.
and Jeremy Northwood at.
Brewer from the Crypt on Instagram and Jeremy Northwood on Facebook.
And
Hey,
I'll-
yo, if y'all want to link in, I'm TurtleVan666 on PSN and Xbox Live as well. I'm going to get that new Call of Duty pretty soon.
And I'm gonna change my scream name to
666 keeps coming up this entire fucking week for me.
Kabong.
Like everybody I know around me.
Ole!
Thank you for ruining my outro, Jeremy. Have a good night, everybody.
Jeremy ruins
The outros.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hit it already! Ow!
Famcast Media.